If you guys are looking forward to automate your repetitive STAAD modeling works using simple programming, then you are at the right place. The Excel sheet which you are currently watching is the application we are going to create in this video. Without further ado, let's begin. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Parshit Jain. I'm a structural engineer based on Pondicherry, and on this channel, we discuss about various tools, concepts, and methodologies to help engineers to work productively and efficiently. Today, we are going to create a portal bracing frame in STAAD from Excel environment using OpenSTAAD function. Let's go ahead. We are going to split this video into three parts: the inputs, the process, and the programming. In the first session, that is the input session, we will discuss about the necessary inputs which is required to create a portal frame, and in the process session we will be discussing the actual methodology or process through which we are about to create a portal frame. And finally, the programming session, this is where we are going to code the tool. Let's begin. For those who does not aware of a portal bracing, it will look something like this. So we have two columns and we will be having a beam which is connecting both of these columns. So what would be the necessary inputs to create a geometry like this in STAAD? We mainly require two things. First one is the width of the portal bracing, and secondly the height of the portal bracing, and they are quite enough. So we just require a space in Excel sheet to get these inputs. As you see, I have already assigned some cells to get these values in the first place. So moving to the next part of video, the process. So we got our inputs. What's next? The inputs we received is not directly useful to us, right? Because we can't go and provide the width and height of a portal bracing in STAAD. We need to give information in the form of node and beam informations. And further, to create a node, we require four data. They are the node number, X, Y, and Z coordinate. Similarly, to create a beam, we require three data: the beam number, start node, and the end node. In the Excel sheet, I have already created some formulas to generate the node and beam information directly from the input. So this is my this is the space where I used to store the nodal information, and this is the space to get the member details. So like we are having four nodes as shown here, and I have named them 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first node is going to be the base node, and obviously the coordinates are 0, 0, 0. And the second node, the x coordinate is 0, and the y coordinate is going to be the height of a frame. And for the third node, the x coordinate is going to be the width of the frame, and the y coordinate is going to be the height of a frame. Similarly, like same for the fourth node as well. And regarding the beam details, for member 1, we are having the start node as 1 and end node is 2. Similarly, for member 2, start node is 4 and end node is 3. And for member 3, the start node is 2 and the end node is 3. So this is our beam information, and these are our nodal information. As of now, we got all our necessary inputs in the format which can be provided as an input to the STAAD. Now moving on to the next step, the programming. We are going to perform three major functions in this particular session. Actually, we are going to create a new model, we are going to create nodes, and then we are going to create the beams. We have already discussed in detail about each of these functions in my previous videos. If you haven't watched it, I will provide you the playlist at the end. For now, let's get into my finished code, and I will explain it line by line. So this is our program called portal frame, and the first four variables are to create a new STAAD file. OS is nothing but an variable of type object. It is used to instantiate the STAAD application, and the file name, length unit and force unit are nothing but the variables to create a new STAAD model. So in the first step, I am instantiating the STAAD application and I am storing it in the object OS. Next, these three lines I am assigning the values for the variables. So for the file name, I'm going to create a file name called portalframe.stat, and I have provided the full directory of it. The length unit is 4, which is nothing but it indicates actually the meter, and my force unit is 5, which indicates kilonewton. And in order to create a new stat file, we have an OpenSTAAD function called new stat file. So it is os.newStat file, and the syntax is file name comma length unit comma force unit. So at this step, my program will create a new stat file, after which we have variables for creating the node. So the first variable is a looping variable called I. Next is the node number, so where we will store the node number, and x, y and z coordinates, where we will store the corresponding coordinate values. Next, like here, I'm going to loop through the nodal coordinates. So actually we have 4 nodes here, so my loop would be for I is equal to 1 to 4. So I will be having 4 iterations in my loop, and initially like it will start with I is equal to 1. So node number is equal to sheet 1 cells 7 comma I plus 1. What does it mean? It means like my first node is going to be 7 plus I, which is my I value is 1, so it is 8 comma 1. 1 is nothing but the arrow, which is A8, which will take the node number value as 1. So it is 8 comma 1, that is node number is 1, and x coordinate value is cells 7 plus I comma 2, it is 8 comma 2. The x coordinate value is 0, y value is 8 comma 3, z is 8 comma 4, which is 0 and 0. And then at this point, like I'm using a OpenSTAAD function called create node to create the node in STAAD. So it is was.geometry.create node, my node number, x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate. So the values which we have stored here will be replicated in this particular step. And then like I am going to iterate the next I. So the I value is incremented to 2, and at this point my node number is cells comma 7 plus I comma 1, that is 7 plus 2 comma 1, which is 9 comma 1. So my node number is 2, and correspondingly like my x coordinate is going to be sheet 1 dot cells comma 7 plus 2, that is 9 comma 2, which is 0, and my y coordinate is going to be 9 comma 3, which is equal to 4, and z coordinate is going to be 9 comma 4, which is going to be 0. So we are going to create a node number 2 with coordinates 0 comma 4 comma 0 and next I. So the process iterates up to 4 times. At this stage we would have created the 4 necessary nodes for our portal bracing, and as a third step we are going to create the beam, and these are the variables which are required for storing the values. And j is a looping variable, beam number is going to store the actual beam number, s node and e node are nothing but the start and end node of a beam number. So actually we are having 3 beams, so I am looping through j is equal to 1 to 3. Initially like I am assigning a beam number to sheet 1 dot cells 7 plus j comma 6. What does it mean? 7 plus 1, the j value is initially 1, so it is 8 comma 6, which is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, that is f8. So at this point my beam number is assigned as 1, and my start node is 8 comma 7, which is g8, that is 1 as well, and my end node is going to be h8, that is 2. So we have a OpenSTAAD function called create beam, Right now we are using that to create a beam with the specified start and end node. So our syntax is was.geometry.create beam number comma start node comma end node, and then the process continues and loops over up to 3 iterations. At this point of time we would have created our beam as well. So our portal bracing is completely modeled, and I'm just setting was is equal to nothing. This will free up some space in our memory. That's all for the code. So let me close this, and I have already created a button over here. I'm going to assign a macro for this, our portal frame. So right now I just opened the STAAD, it is empty. I'm just going to click on this and let's see whether the portal frame is created or not. Yes, so my height of a column is 4 and my width is 5. So height is 4, width is 5. We created a portal frame in STAAD model. We have reached the end of this video, and if you like this video, then you will love the custom playlist I have made for you that has my videos on how to use OpenSTAAD to ease the work. Thanks for watching and see you later.